Good afternoon and welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. I'm your host, right along with Robert Simpson. And tonight we have Gary Pritchett joining us. That's right, the man that just won the Ironman just about a week ago in the first IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series. And I tell you what, there's going to be plenty of more of those where that one came from. That's for sure. But I tell you what, tonight's going to be a great show. We're going to talk a little bit about his history coming up through the sport. He's about drove everything that there is to man down the drag strip and all the teams that he's also worked for. So, not only does he have a knowledge of racing, he has a knowledge of working on these machines. But before we get into that, we're going to take a little commercial break. So we'll see you in a few minutes.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
With more than 30 years of engine and drivetrain experience, Big Stuff is your one-stop total power management solution. Whether you're controlling a 600 horsepower street car and want the best drivability, or have a 6,000 horsepower race car, need the most bulletproof, reliable control hardware, Big Stuff can do it all. All of our components are designed and manufactured right here in the USA, including our computers, wiring harnesses, touchscreen displays, and more. Nothing is built offshore, and we take pride in being one of the only automotive aftermarket manufacturers that can say this. Learn more at bigstuff3efi.com or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Well, Gary, I want to thank you for joining us. I know your schedule is pretty crazy right now. I know y'all are getting ready to be packed up and start heading to Virginia.
There it goes. I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Say it again, Mitchell.
All right. What I said was, I know that you've been really busy here lately, and y'all are fixing.
I can't hear him.
Backing up.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me, but you can't hear Mitchell.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just say what he said. We want to tell you thank you very much for coming on tonight on the On the Spot Motorsports Media. We know you're very, very busy. You're packing up, getting ready to go to Virginia. So thank you for taking the time. I can't imagine. Well, of course I can't imagine, but not loading up everything you have to load up. But I tell you, Gary, you have a wonderful history. Okay, and basically, like I said, starting from the bottom and working your way on up. Now, before we talk about your most recent victory that's happened, tell us a little bit. Tell us how you got started in this sport.
Just kind of got roped into it when I was 18 months old, I think. My dad started working for Carol Bunny Burkett with Mo Burkett and that whole family, and kind of brought me along, to the shop as a kid, where I was just crawling around the garage, laying under alcohol funny cars, learning the ropes, and then just working my way up from there. And that's just kind of how it started. It was kind of in my blood from that point on. Then we, I would go to all the races across the the East Coast and run around with Bunny and that group and the whole IHRA deal and match. I mean, there was a point in time we were running 38 match races a year with the alcohol funny car.
What?
So she had it.
Jeez.
She was booked in everywhere, I mean, any given track, she called them rinky dink tracks, we were there.
Right.
But that's how it started. And then I, started getting I got a junior dragster when I was 8. Then we got a junior funny car. The junior funny car was painted just like Bunny Burkett's alcohol funny car. So they were clones. And I would take that thing to tracks and run around too. And that's, and then I got to race that based on how your grades were in school. And,
right.
If I did enough work on the alcohol car too. So, but that's kind of how it all started.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's saying something right there. The first thing you worked on, an alcohol car, that's saying something right there. Usually it's a street car, a bracket car, or something like that. No, the first thing you worked on was an alcohol car. So especially during that era with the match racing and everything. First of all, Mitchell, can Mitchell say something?
Can y'all hear me now?
Still can't hear him, Gary?
No,
you can hear me, Robert?
Yes, I can, Mitchell. I can hear you. So I don't know why, but I can go figure. I can actually hear it. It's usually the other way around. Usually it's me. Usually it's my end. But anyway, so Mitchell, if you want to relay to me, I'll relay to Gary. If you want to. Anything? Nah,
I'm
he's
trying
to get it figured out. But Gary, continuing on with the history with your family, okay, and was it from the get-go, from the introduction, that you knew that you wanted to drag race, or that you wanted to be around this sport, or is it just always just ingrained in you, or just kind of grow into it?
It's just all I know, and I just had such a passion for it because they had such a passion for it. I remember I took my big wheel to Budds Creek, and I would run down the track with it, before anything even started. And I just, we would bring our Hot Wheels cars and play in the trailer growing up with Donna. We would use the ramp truck as a place to let the Hot Wheels cars go down. And just growing up at the track with all these kids that shared the same passion, I loved there was times where it was like, oh, you want to go play baseball or something, or you want to go play basketball or try some football out? And I tried a little bit. I wasn't very good, so I figured I'd stick to racing. And kind of was like, all right, well, this is what I'm doing. And it all stemmed down from like a guy. Bunny had guys that worked with her that ended up out in the field. One of them was John Boyce, and he started on Bunny's car when he was like 16 years old. And he started wrenching on her car, very good to have around, ended up working at Tim McAmus's, then ended up working in the nitro rings. Wow. I got to a point where it was like, what am I going to do when I get out of high school? Am I going to go to college? Am I going to go, what do I want to do? I just wanted to drag race, and that's hard to come by. And ended up making a call to him, and that was back in 2006, and decided, well, are we going to move out and go up north? I guess we are. And I was 18 years old, and I packed my bags up and left the house and moved to Indiana. And that was in 06 to pursue a drag racing career and work full time. And that was pretty scary. I mean, I was with my parents until then, and loaded up my old 94 Chevy Dually and headed north. And that's how it started. And I started out as a crew guy on Hot Rod Fuller's car with David Powers Motorsports. And I was clutch assistant and tires, and at that particular age, you think you know it all. And I had a lot of guys that had a lot of years and a lot of championships under their belt. David Shafty, Carcanis, Sean Ford, all these crew guys that were out there forever, and they were very, very hard on me, and I'll never forget it. And I thank them for it, because they whipped me into who I am today. And I don't know if that's good or not, but it helped. But that's how it started, and that was back in 06, and then I just went on from there. That was the second race ever I went to in Top Fuel was Phoenix with Rob Flynn, and we won the Top Fuel race. And he looked at me and shook his head and he said, "Kid, I just want you to remember these are not this easy to come by." And that was my second time being on a team, and he was right, because there was many years where there was droughts, and then
Wow.
go from there.
Well, I tell you, I'm going to try to see if you can
Yeah,
hear.
and do you want me to keep going from there? I don't know.
Well, yeah. If you want to, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we left. We started there, ended up winning a couple races there. That team went away. Then I went to Joe Hartley's car in 09. And same thing, had a good year there, had a lot of success with some round wins. Great family to be around. Left there, ended up with Morgan Lucas Racing, 2010, 2011. And same thing, I established some great friendships and relationships with all those guys I work with. And I got a call from Steve Torrance and Richard Hogan and asked if I wanted to go join their team in 2012. And that was hard to leave the Lucas team because they were my band of brothers, and then ended up being one of the best decisions I've ever made, being a part of that Capco team. And, we had a lot of success there, and there was a big learning curve, and it took us a long time, from 2012 to really 2017 to really take off. And it just took that many years of being with each other to go start winning races. And that's when we went on a tear.
Oh yeah, that's an understatement. Now,
Yeah.
what was your responsibility through the years working on the cars? I mean, did it rotate, or was it mainly focused like bottom end guy, cylinder head guy, that kind of thing, clutch guy?
I was at with David Powers, it was tires and clutch assistant, and then I went to supercharger, started doing I was the blower guy, and then I went to Hartley's and kind of did some cylinder heads, did short block stuff, but I did a lot of that with the alcohol cars. And then at Lucas's, I was the rack guy, so I built the rod and piston combos, and I would pull a head, bolt a head on and off. And then when I got an opportunity to move up, and what I really wanted to do was the clutches, because that was really important growing up. The clutch guy on our alcohol car, Bunny, always wanted the best one, and always had to have somebody that really knew what they were doing, and that really controls the performance of the car in a lot of ways. And that's when I got that call, "Hey, you want to come do the clutch on this car?" And I went there, and I was the clutch specialist for 12 years with him. So we could do it with our eyes closed.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
we had a lot of success, and I'll never, look back at it and just think, wow, like we really did it. We won every race on the entire tour of NHRA, swept the countdown, won four national events, and I think 60, I don't know the number correctly, 64 or 65 race wins or something together.
Hey, show the Wallies.
But
Could you hear Mitchell?
no, I can't.
I tell you what, we're going to try.
We get it fixed.
Try again, Mitchell. Try again, Mitchell.
No, I got a good idea.
Okay, we'll continue on. I keep trying to slide Mitchell in there. He's like, no.
It's doing that.
I don't know why, but okay. So your experience that you gained over the years, okay, your hands-on experience clearly helped you as you're moving forward to wanting to drive. Okay, and now you have a wide resume of driving different vehicles, starting with your juniors. Okay, but from your juniors, what's the next thing that you? Right. What's the next? Now I'm hearing that, Mitch. Okay.
It's not gonna work.
We're trying, and we're trying to get everybody in there. Now, what's the next thing? Your progression of vehicles that you've driven, starting with your juniors and moving your way up, because you do have a resume of driving a variety of cars with some fantastic teams, I might add. So,
yeah, I took off from junior funny car, junior dragster, and I figured why not go ahead and hop in an alcohol funny car when I was 17 years old. So it was like 17 or 18. We were at Bud's Creek, and Bunny was like, "Well, you ready?" I'm like, "I guess." And we ended up. So my dad was always originally supposed to drive her car at some point. I think that's how she baited him to keep working on it for 18 years. But anyways, the car was kind of built for a taller person and her, and we had different steering shafts and different seat inserts and all this, and we did that because my dad was supposed to drive someday. Well, it ended up I took the seat from him. That was back in, I mean, that was at Budds Creek years ago, and I got my license and went on from there and raced some couple buddies super comp cars, and then went from there and just tried to stay, you know, out there driving cars here and there. Would drive like Sean Langdon super comp cars. Continue to run that alcohol funny car up and down the East Coast match racing. That's where I really learned to drive at a lot of good, scary, I would call them scary rinky dink tracks that didn't have hardly any any shutdown area.
Right.
We shouldn't be there. But that's where I learned. That's how I grew up driving. Don't ever drive over your head. And if you know, there's no margin for error. And then I would continue to drive here and there, and finally got my Top Fuel license in 2015 with Mike and Connie Doak gave me that opportunity. And it was actually with Doug Cook that's on our car now as the crew chief of the Top Fuel car I'm driving. And got my license then, and always had that hope of maybe entering a race someday, and kept it current from 2015 till 2025 or 2026 where we're at now. And I got to thank people like them for giving me the opportunity. And then guys like Scott Palmer let me drive their car on a Monday to keep my license current, you know, something I'll never forget. And then obviously Dom and Bob Lagana, I got to drive the Nitro Ninja at the, you know, up north. Yeah. That's a very special deal to me, obviously. And then just stayed, you know, current with that. And then last year, you know, actually 2018, I raced Johnny Lindbergh's alcohol funny car, entered the U.S. Nationals, went to the semifinals, qualified number 2. I mean, that's a pinch me moment. Bunny was there on the starting line. I mean, there's pictures from that race where I was the crew guy that got the chance. And I swear to you, there was probably 70 people on the starting line. It was every crew guy in the whole pit was there to support you because you got a chance. And that was in 2018, and Johnny Lindbergh let me do that. I'll never forget that either. And a big person to thank too for all this. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but Randy Meyer. Randy Meyer let me drive alcohol dragster, letting me prove myself, letting people show that I can win and drive these things. And you know, there's another. I mean, Scrappers Racing. You know, that was a big deal too that we put together. There's the funny car from that's 2018 at the U.S. Nationals. I mean, those are special deals. That was a boat company of a friend of mine that I called up, and he decided he wanted to sponsor the car. But Randy Meyer, that's a big deal to me because he really gave me a shot and let me run that car and prove myself that I could do it, that I could be in those tense final rounds. You know, I think Tony Stewart and we raced each other 4 times in 4 final rounds, and it was 2-2 or something. I don't even know. Ended up coming down to 1 round for the North Central Championship. And him and we always got up for each other, and he would keep me on my toes. I mean, I look up to him. He's a great driver, and obviously many classes. But, you know, guys like Randy really helped that happen. And then same with Del Worsham. I mean, I drove his dragster last year at Dragway 42. We had a great time. We made, you know, 2 great qualifying runs and went out there first round and barely got beat. But there's just so many people that you meet over the years, and you don't realize that you, I guess, make an impression on them or, you know, maybe help them at some point. And then down the road, they look at you and say, well, let's give this guy a shot. He's been there for us or worked on our car at some point. So here's his chance. And I think that kind of is the reason I got the call from Doug Foley. You know, Doug Foley was 39 years old, and he got a call from Tim Lewis to say, hey, you've been wanting to do this Top Fuel thing. I'm going to get you a car and a motor and a blower, and you're going to go racing. And, you know, giving the small guy a chance. And, here I am, 39, and Doug Foley called me up, and it was just kind of I don't believe it until I do a burnout, you know, is this really happening? And 39 years old, I've been chasing this for my entire life, you know, and, you know, I got to a point where you're happy and it's like, well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm still having a blast racing a 72 Nova in Super Street and a Super Comp car in Super Comp, and Jess's car and my wife's and Top Dragster and doing all these things. And it's like, if it comes along, it comes along, and we'll run Bunny Burkett's funny car here and there. And that's it. Now we're the points leaders in IHRA and won an Ironman. Like, did I really just say that? I mean, that really did happen, you know?
It, it's really neat that, you know.
What else you got? I don't know.
Can y'all hear me?
Can you hear him okay?
Yeah.
Mitchell, try again.
Oh, Mitchell.
Oh,
it is. You think
Mitchell,
you want to out and log back in or no?
Mitchell.
You want to try to log back in? I can hear me. I can hear me. I'm coming through on the computer on the other side.
And he can hear me. You just can't hear him.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what you want to do, Mitchell?
You want to try to log back in?
Or?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Gary, if you don't mind, go ahead.
Okay. Let's
All right, Gary's going to be right back with us in just a moment. So having a little bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah, he can hear one of us and not the other.
Okay, microphone
on and off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, so yeah, you know how it is, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you do these things live, sometimes it's just
technology, man. Just
yeah, love to hate it. And
I mean, I even tried to come on with my phone and do it that way.
Oh yeah, you're trying every manner you can.
Try it.
Okay.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear both of you.
All right. 2 for 2.
Oh,
I was there thinking, oh no, Mitchell couldn't.
Okay, I'm going to try to go back in there and get on the computer then.
No. Stick with it, man. Stick with it. Mitchell, man, go ahead, buddy. You're on.
No, you explaining, how everything came around and worked out. It just goes to show you what a big family drag racing really is. It is a big family, and everybody does care about everybody, and everybody does want, people to be successful. No matter what they're doing, working on the car or driving it down the track, and that's the reason why I fell in love with the sport. Is those type of things that happen. I mean, being out at an ET bracket race and someone blow a heater hose, you got someone going up to the tower and they're announcing it. 5 minutes later, they got their car back together and they're ready to make another round of racing. And majority of the time, they end up racing the person that actually gave them the hose.
Yeah,
which is pretty neat, But that's the love of the sport.
Yeah, and it's like that from top to bottom. I've been a part of it, like you say, at a regular bracket race on a Thursday night at Summer Duck Dragway. Something happens, somebody comes and saves you, or in the Top Fuel pits, same thing. I mean, there was times where we wrecked a car and got another car out of the trailer in between rounds and had about 40 or 50 people in our pit trying to help us, and that just goes to show, because we would help a lot of people too, and it's just a big family from top to bottom. I agree 100%.
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah, and I think these podcasts. I really enjoy doing these podcasts as well, because I love shedding the light on everybody's career, where they came from, because you're not, you wasn't born with a silver spoon. A lot of people wasn't. But because of the opportunity that this country gives us to be able to move up through the ranks, say in drag racing, and now you can say that you won a Top Fuel race and you have an Ironman. And then what I wanted you to do a while ago, where you couldn't hear me, I wanted you to turn the camera and I wanted you to show all those Wallies that you got over there in the corner for everyone to see.
Yeah, I can. I mean, it's a pretty sight to see. Let's see. I'll just go like this. Just you go. Here's those. I mean, the world champs.
And that's hard work right there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then you got all the,
Gee whiz, man.
It's a lot of years and a lot of, we did a lot over the years. That's why I got them all in here. I finally got a place where I can put them all up. And obviously this is a real special one. This is the Bunny Briquette Lifetime Achievement Award, NHRA.
And that is awesome.
That is great. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got that a couple years ago, and I was able to go accept that for her at the down there in Kentucky, I believe. And then again, she got inducted into the Garlett's Hall of Fame. I was able to accept that one. But no, you just you look back and think of this, all the years and the success we had, and it got you to this point. Now you're finally getting a chance, and it was a hard for me a couple years ago to step away, and obviously my wife was a huge part of that. But to be able to get a chance to drive one of these things, or get an opportunity to run your Super Comp dragster some more, your Nova, you got to take a step back from racing full time, because I mean we live and breathe it. I mean, we spend more time with each other on the road than you do your family at all. There's a lot of things I've missed, and I wouldn't change anything, but you spend more time with those guys than you will ever spend with anybody in your entire life. And there's 8 of you, and you're up and down the road, and it's just a lot of work to run one of them nitro cars. And I took a step back, got an opportunity to do a couple more things, and I think that's what turned this all into something special.
Absolutely.
So how many races are you planning on running this year in the NHRA and also the IHRA? Are y'all planning on running a full season in the IHRA?
We're planning on it. We just got to, keep parts in the car. And,
right.
We've had some people come on, and some people, partners obviously come and go, and we're looking for more. And, same with NHRA. I really want to run the Budds Creek National, because it means a lot to me. And we've had a couple people interested in it, and we'll see if we can put something together for it. If not, it's no big deal, but we are going to run the IHRA stuff. We're running Dinwiddie this weekend. I'm leaving in the morning for that. And then the following week, we're racing the Bunny Burkett Alcohol Funny Car at Cecil County Dragway. And then where did I say the following week was after that? Oh, we're going to Charlotte to run the Super Street and Super Comp, but we won't be there with Top Fuel. But we are running most of the IHRA and maybe a couple more NHRA. We'll see how that goes.
Is your wife going to be running Top Dragster at the events that you're running, Top Fuel?
Yeah, she's running Top Dragster this weekend. She really's done very well in that car. I think I've kind of created a monster, because at first it was a 760 Top Dragster car. Now she's run 634 at 214, and still now she wants to go faster, obviously. So here we go. Here's how this is starting. But
well, Clark's got a question for you. He wants to know, what is the difference from guiding a Top Fuel back and then having someone guide you back?
Funny you say that, because I did that for so many years. You learn on the outside how to direct somebody, and then you teach the guy in front of you how to direct somebody. And you show them, how to go up to the, back the car up a certain way, use your hand, don't make too aggressive moves. Move your hand slow, and because your reaction is what the driver is going to react, and you want to keep them calm. And that's a big thing. And then as far as bringing the car in the beams, you always want to bring them in the same way. So you take your foot and find the top bulb and turn it, and that's always the same distance every time. And you always want to do it on one certain side of the car, because I don't know if many people know that, but these cars, the left wheel's in front of the right wheel, they're staggered. So right. You would always want to bring the guy in the beam on the left side, because if you bring him on the right side, he's going to be a different distance every way. So that just keeps it so for like Steve or somebody that I was helping, they had the same approach to the beam every time, no matter what. And little tricks of the trade you learn over the years from doing it so much. But now, being inside the car, like, follow this guy, what he's telling you to do. Back up, where you think you can back up. Go slow, and go slower than what you think when you're rolling forward, because being on the outside of the car for so many years, you see all the things not to do. And now you're
right.
in it,
right.
Do the thing, do what you should do. It's just hard to really keep your composure when you're in a 11,000 horsepower Top Fuel dragster that's rumbling from underneath you. But and another thing that's funny that I always did for every final round, I would put a money sign on my hand, and I would show Steve, and we won every race that way. And what's really funny about that is I didn't know that Joe Foley that backs me up now, he knew about that. And then at the final round, at the last race where I just won my first Ironman, he was bringing me in the beams and had the money sign on his hand. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. But it made you like, all right, you had a little bit of nerves, like, all right, we're having fun. Let's go win, you know? So it was just a special moment between him and I thought it was really cool. He did that.
I like it. That's actually good because I remember seeing a Jesse James put a money symbol on his hand, but his was different. He had pay up sucker.
Yeah.
That's what he had on his hand.
Mine was just with a Sharpie. So
Right. His was done because people wouldn't pay their bill, but we get your point. Now, I'll tell you, now you brought up a really good explanation as far as a difference between being on the outside and guiding somebody, backing up, bringing them up to the lights versus being inside as a driver position, what you feel and anxiety. Now, the same thing goes to you working on the car. You've worked on the car so many years, and with the most of it being the clutch, okay, and the management and whatnot. So now are you able to interpret that as a driver? I know you obviously go back and look at the data logger to see if it tells you how you feel, but now are you having an opportunity to bring those two worlds together of, hey, this is what I've worked on for so many years, this is what I see on the computer, and now this is what it feels like? Are you having those kind of moments?
Yeah, I'm having moments of like learning different things as far as that. One of the hardest things of one of these cars is the starting line procedure and the warm up procedure and driving. Don't get me wrong, but doing that smoothly and doing it the correct way, and knowing inside the car, like going in forward and reverse, like hitting the brake, pulling the brake on the jack stands, you can feel when the tires come to a complete stop. A lot of drivers will find reverse and jam it in and out of reverse, you know. And same with as far as out on the track, you learn how to be smooth with the clutch pedal. Let the clutch out, backing up, push it back in, keep the heat out of the clutch. When you're rolling forward, there's a guy sometimes on some teams that'll push you up to the beam, keep your foot down. You know, that might help, just not dragging the clutch. You know what I'm saying? I know we set things up pretty good to be in neutral, but you learn a lot of little tricks inside the car because you learned them on the outside of what to do to try and keep it nice and smooth. It really helps out a lot. What else was I going to say? I was going to say something, but no, that just, it goes over. And then, you know, going back and looking at the graph up in the lounge and seeing things and learning, you know, you're behind these cars for a long time until you get a lot of laps. And I think still you're behind them. And now I'm like trying to figure out where I'm lifting at. And I will tell them, like, there's sometimes where you can click a button off on a test run at a certain amount of time. And I would say, okay, you told me to take it here. I think I clicked it right here. And it was like, well, you clicked it there and we hit the button here. And it was kind of at the same time to shut you off. But just learning those type of deals. And don't lean on the throttle. You know, a lot of guys will lean on the throttle, you know, to try and anticipate the tree and stuff. You don't want to do that. You want to try and keep your foot off because it doesn't really help with anything. These cars have a lot of G forces. It's easy for your foot to come up going down the track. You don't want to do that. Another big thing is blipping the throttle when you shut the car off early. You know, get your foot out of there. Don't let it come up and blip the throttle because then you're going to blow the blower off it or in the injector. You just learn so many things over the years, and you're going to do it being inside the car, and it makes you realize and respect it even more because it's so easy to do those things. And then on the outside, you're like, oh man, why'd he do that? You know, and now I'm in it. And it's like, all right, well,
I couldn't help it. I promise.
It's not as easy as you think, but no, I think just being on the outside for so many years has definitely helped in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, and I think another good thing for you with so much experience, if y'all get into a tight pinch, you can go in there and throw down with the rest of the guys to turn the car around faster. You know, if it comes up that way.
Yeah, and I mean, my hands are on the car every run. I'm there. I'm not just packing chutes and, you know, mixing fuel and doing all those things. I have to have my hand on something at all times. I'll be in the solvent area cleaning something or, you know, cleaning the bell housing out, looking at the clutch disc and all that. But then I got to realize, well, hey, Gary, you're on this other side too over here. You need to probably go talk to some people.
You're like, oh yeah,
go sign some autographs, something I'm not used to. So But one thing I always do before we leave is I always wipe the whole car down, front to back, because I just like to look at everything and just put my hand on everything and just kind of see like that it's okay. And obviously I've been with these guys for a couple weeks, couple months now, and I really trust every one of them from top to bottom, and just looking for a lot more races with them, a lot more years hopefully, and see how that goes.
Well, I want to tell you a funny story. So, uh, Clark and a lot of the drivers, they knew my son from me taking him out there to the track. So one year, Mike Booker was running Top Fuel
Yeah.
at Gainesville, and he says, "Hey, you want to sit in the car?" And of course, my son, he's not going to turn that down. So he jumps in, he sits down in the car, and while he's in the car, before he gets out, he says, "Hey, I found a fastener. It was to one of the panels."
Yep, there you go.
So if we hadn't found that fastener, guess what could have happened to one of those panels? It could have tore
Left the
away and
chat.
ripped off the daggum car.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, those Zeus buttons, we were in Bristol one year, and a Zeus button came off, and the car did a burnout, and the Zeus button came back and went into somebody's leg. So it's pretty you really got to take all that stuff serious, and really keep an eye on everything.
Well, I tell you, I want to ask you something, Gary, because I believe you have the best explanation. Whenever a driver is obviously in competition, not just qualifying, but in competition, and let's just say that they have to pedal the car. Okay, do you get completely out of it, or do you try, till the tires catch up, or do you try to just burp the throttle once or whatever like that? Because I hear bad things can happen, hydraulicking and other things like that. And with the clutch coming in and locking up, it causes a whole nother scenario. So whenever a driver has to pedal, is there a better routine or a better habit to get in when doing that?
Yeah, to not do it.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's a really fine line there. When you pedal a car, a lot of things can happen. You can blow up parts, hurt things. It's a monster, the car. It's going to get away from you at some point. Obviously, you've seen the best drivers out there. It's happened to them. One of the best is Doug Coletta. Look at him. If you watch the blades, he can feather the blades and get them up just halfway. You really just want to let the best you see is you let the car, and it's the hardest thing in the world to not just start, you feel it smoke the tires and just get back on it real quick. Let's go. But you really got to calm down and let the car settle, and then, okay, let's try it again. And then if it does it again, then the same thing. You really got to take your time and just really focus on letting the car calm down before you give it gas again. And like I say, it's a fine line. Something's going to happen at some point when you take a big risk pedal in the car. I don't think I want to be in too many pedal fests. I've had my share in alcohol cars and stuff like that, but nitro is a whole different world. There is one thing now called pedal mode, where these cars have a pedal mode now where they will it will help the driver in certain ways instead of being so violent. Maybe if I know that's on the car, maybe I would try, but again, I'm just, I don't own this stuff. If it was my car, it would be different. I think it's a fine line there, and I would have to talk to Doug about it. But if it's the final round and you're in a pedal fest, you're probably going to pedal the car to try and win the race. But other than that, I don't think I want to be a part of too many pedals.
yeah, I agree. Because those parts they're not cheap. It's very expensive, especially if you blow a blower off the car. You're talking about some big money. And sometimes, if it's during qualifying, it's best to just get out of the throttle, let it coast down, and come back the next round of qualifying and try to do better.
Nobody's going to be mad at you for doing that. Now, if you go out there and pedal it and blow it up, they're going to be really mad at you. So.
Yeah, you know about that, right? As far as it's like going, I'm on the receiving end,
okay? or you're in the wall or something.
Right.
We have all been a part of it, But
that's true. It does happen. Now I tell you. Now you mentioned Randy Myers, okay, and Myers Racing. They have a long history of winning. Okay, let's just say of winning. And quite honestly, it doesn't matter who seems to be driving. They're always a threat. But Randy just doesn't turn it over to anybody. Okay,
Yeah.
that I mean, he just doesn't. You have to basically prove himself where he has to have enough confidence in you to do it. Now, if memory serves me right, I think you went to 6 finals. You've won, I think, 4 of them. 4 of them. You got second place in the Central Division for alcohol, and I'm like going, oh my goodness. Now, how does that compare as far as reacting? Okay, that car reacting compared to the Top Fuel car. Obviously, Top Fuel's got more power. Okay, but just with the initial staging and the reaction of it, are they similar or completely different?
That is the best stepping stone for anybody that wants to drive a Top Fuel car to be in. It is the exact same procedure almost. Only thing that's very different is the tug of the motor. Where the tug in an A fuel car is way harder than a Top Fuel car, and that's with the clutch itself. When you let out of the clutch pedal, you can really hear them tug down, and you really got to have a good brake pressure, and you really can just bump the car in. And there's just a ton of tug. Like in the Top Fuel car, you let out of the clutch anymore these days, and you go on the high side where it's like the car hardly wants to move forward to stage. So it's just a whole different thing. And in an A fuel car, and you can see this, you can cut. You would hit the tree the same in both cars. Say you'd be a 30 in a A fuel car, you'd be 50 in a Top Fuel car. And a lot of people talk about that. You could be 20 in a fuel car, you'd be 40 in a 50. It just depends on the rollout of the track. But what I'm saying to you is because the way those cars react, they have better reaction times, and you learn that as you go. But it's really tricky with the staging procedure because, like I say, the A fuel car really you can get the car to move a lot easier, and the Top Fuel car you really gotta bump it in to get it moving. So,
okay, deep staging, yes or no?
What's that?
Deep staging in a fuel car, yes or no?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Nope, that's another thing. I mean, shallow stage, and there might be some critics on this. I'm just going to say you need to try and flicker the bob every time because you're giving your crew chiefs and your crew every ET they can get. There is guys out there that roll it in. I don't agree with it. I never agree with it. The reaction time is what the reaction time is going to be. When you roll it in, you take ET away. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people will just roll it in to get that reaction time number to be what it is. And you learn over the years being on the outside, when you roll it in, you're like, man, well, we actually, we ran 375, but we actually ran like 372 because you rolled it in 300 or something, like,
Right.
But in the final round, it's a different story too. There's guys in the final round of a race, they're going to roll it in because they're hyped up and they don't want to worry about it. And some people, they just do that and have better lights that way. And so no deep staging. You better be shallow or figure something else out.
See, I'm one of those guys. I'm just barely going to bump in where I turn the bulb on. That's just the way I am. Now, Robert, I think you roll in a little bit deeper, don't you?
Hey, I got a slow street car, so I go deep with it. But I'm working on changing that so I can go back shallow with most of the world.
Hey, we got Dane Papke. He wanted to ask a question. He wanted to talk about your routine before you get in the car. I know a lot of people, they like to listen to hard rock. Some people like to listen to classical music. Some people like to just sit in the vehicle, the tow vehicle, and others like to just walk around. So, what is your routine before you strap in and get ready to go up to the staging to stage the car?
I don't really have it's a new world for me, and I really don't have much of a routine. I've never been much of a music listener as far as to get hyped. There's sometimes maybe you listen to a song that would get you fired up, but really just cutting up with everybody, walking around a little bit here and there, and it just, well, is it time to get in yet? How many pair are we away? All right, let's get in. I don't really do nothing different. one thing I have to do is I have to scrouch before I get in the car. I walk up next to it and I have to scrouch down to get my fire suit to come up on my legs because my legs are too long and they'll get bound up in the car. So that's one thing I guess that would be one routine I do.
That's necessity. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's not by choice. That's necessity.
Otherwise, I can't fit hardly in there, but we make it work. No, just kind of making sure you got all your gear in the car, making sure you put the stuff on and kind of put it on the same way. I mean, right glove, left glove, I don't know. Not much.
Okay.
Now since you've raced a little bit of IHRA, how do you like running the 8th mile compared to the 1,000 feet over an NHRA?
I mean, a longer distance, the better. But 8th mile, it's tough because that's right when the G-forces seem to be coming in these things. That's right when the clutch is locking up. That's right when they're getting ready to. That's when all, from the 330 on to 660. That's when everything's coming on and all the horsepower is down at the track, and then you lift. And a couple other drivers and I talked about this. It's a hard impact, like a lot different than lifting at 1,000 feet. So but I mean, I like it because it's a lot more for what we're doing. If you look at it, it's a lot of good racing, a lot of side-by-side racing. You need to have good reaction times. It's a shorter distance. And, it's better for guys that are running on their parts. A lot of times when you test the Top Fuel car, you take it to half track. Well, we're taking it to half track, as we're racing. And I think it's kind of a good way for you to get your tune up right and run well. And then when you feel like, running some 1,000-foot stuff, you're ready for it.
Now they do have the Triple Crowns that are coming up, and y'all will be racing to 1,000 feet there. And I think that's a great opportunity, not only for y'all drivers, but also for the fans to get more of that experience of being at the track and seeing y'all go down there to 1,000 foot. And so are y'all really looking forward to those Triple Crowns and being able to race to 1,000 foot?
Yeah, I mean, that's a special deal, and those are some really good tracks. I'm excited. It needs to run 8th mile for the, championship chase. And those are a little bit different, but like tracks like Denwoody that we're going at this weekend, I'd be like, oh man, I wish we could run 1,000 feet there because it's a premier, quarter mile, 1,000-foot track. That was a big NHRA track at one point. But no, I think it'll be good and allow the IHRA guys to run, the NHRA guys to run, and they're used to running 1,000 feet. And I just think it'll be really exciting. And what better place to start that off than at Maple Grove? That's an historic track, and that's going to be for the first one in. The money they're paying out, $150,000 to win, and paying you $40,000 to qualify. How can you not go if you don't own a Top Fuel car? Even if you don't qualify, you get $10,000 to show up. This guy is really doing something special for a lot of these drag racers, and that's not just Top Fuel. That's in every class, and I'm excited to be a part of it and excited to see where it goes.
Well, and I think it's great to start it off there as well, because a lot of teams, they've got data already from that track that they can actually use in a pinch.
Yeah, they do. I think it's going to be a pretty tight group, tight qualifying field, really good competition. And I don't know if you remember in the past watching those shootout races where you're racing for $100,000. There's wild things happen, ETs that you wouldn't believe would happen, and guys really get up on the tree. They're 30s and stuff, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
The craziest ones. Go ahead, Mitchell. Sorry.
Go ahead, Robert, and then I'll ask the next question.
Okay, I was going to say, as far as shootouts, I remember back the Winston Invitational at Rockingham, where they used to run Top Fuel versus Funny Car. And whatever was low qualifier in each, that was the difference on the tree. So it was like 1/10, 2/10 difference on the tree. And that right there was entertaining, to say the least. It was entertaining because obviously everybody figured Funny Car is going to get, obviously get the hit. So they're going to when it's over. But I couldn't believe how many Top Fuel drivers really, really could focus And even with a funny car taking off a split second, less than that, right beside them, they stayed focused and zeroed in on the tree. And a lot of them was one on the tree, and through different means. So I don't know if that style of shootout will ever come back, but if it will, that'd be some kind of entertaining.
That is funny you say that, because a staggered pro tree is the hardest tree that I've ever left on, and we run it out with the Nova back here. And when you see a flash in a car leave or see a flash, that is the hardest thing to sit there and wait and not hit the gas. And it's pretty impressive that you're able to do that in a field car. And I don't know, I would have a hard time with it for sure.
True.
So when is your next NHRA event that you're going to be racing at?
Charlotte in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Jess and I really love that track. We actually call Galat like a mini Charlotte, just a beautiful facility. Charlotte's premier, any Bruton Smith track is. Had a lot of success there. So we're going to go there. She's going to run Top Dragster. I'm going to run Super Comp, see if I can remember how to do it. That's a really tough class. And then Super Street as well. Anybody that tells you Super Street's a beginner class, they can kick rocks, because
It's tough.
You can get your butt kicked in Super Street. I do all the time. So anyways, but no, we're going to run those 3 classes and just enjoy a sportsman weekend. And obviously I wish we could bring the Top Fuel car there, but we're still going to have fun, because like I say, I have just as much fun in that 72 Nova as I do that Top Fuel car.
Yeah. I was going to say, tell us about your Super Street car and your Super Comp car. Tell us about them now. We already talked a little bit behind the scenes on, I got a thing for Novas just like you, but
Yeah.
But tell everybody about your cars that you currently have.
The current ones is the 72 Nova I love, and it's right there. That is a 72 Nova, was originally built for that wheelie competition.
In Byron, Illinois, right?
Yeah. So Jeff Eastburn got a hold of this car, and he's had it for, I think, 25 years. And for Jeff Eastburn, that's my father-in-law. That's a big deal. We call it the Queen of the Fleet. It's one car that his wife Jackie will never let go. They love it. Anyways, they own the car. My motor's in the car, and I get to, it's kind of, we did like an old school pro stock thing. We got Eastburn and Pritchett on the side of it. Just something that we enjoy to have a lot of fun with here at our local track at Cecil County Dragway. They have this streetcar out every month. We can run it off the stop. It'll run, 9 flat with the motor that's in it now. We're actually getting ready to put a motor in. It'll run 850s, 860s off the stop. So then we'll run, put the throttle stop on it and run 1090. Other car here is that one. That's Blueberry, we call her. It's my Super Comp dragster I like to have fun with. Run 890 or off the stop, run 450s or 7 flat. Just 2 fun cars to – all of my years of racing, I've had to work my butt off on the cars every freaking run. And what's really nice about these, most of the time, I'm not going to jinx myself here, you can come back and plug the battery charger in and put some fuel in them and air the tires and go have some freaking fun. That's what you like to do. That's why I like to do it. But,
Right.
You don't have to tear the motor apart or beat the clutch out of it every run. But we have a good time with it. We really enjoy that Top Dragster class. That's an exciting class. So.
Yes, it is. We're looking to try to get some local Top Dragster winners on here, hopefully pretty soon. We're trying to get things worked out on schedule. And yes, Top Dragster, Top Sportsman, some of the most exciting, call it Top Bulb if you want to, Top Bulb racing out there at any event. Yep. Doesn't matter the association, IHRA or NHRA, points races, national event, whatever. It is quick, it's fast, and the variety. That's what I really like about the class is the variety and all the super categories too. But the variety, I mean, let's use Top Dragsters for example. Okay, you got nitrous, you got pro chargers, you got just straight up cubic inch. Very seldom you'll see a turbocharger, but you still see it. Yep. And then everything in between, late model Hemis with superchargers on them and other things like that. Even some diesels. I saw a couple diesels, and so I love the variety of that. Now, did you have to do like a mental transition going from the alcohol car or Top Fuel car and then getting in your Nova?
Yeah.
You let go of it and you're like going, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's a little different. But it's funny you say that. As one guy that does, a couple friends of mine around here now, they're kind of following it, and they're like, I just don't understand why you dial in a car and try and run the number. And I'm like, well, this is the biggest part of it. It levels the playing field for anybody that wants to race in these classes, where some guy with a lot of money can't come in here with a big motor and outrun everybody. Where I can have, you can have a big block with a supercharger on it, and it can run 630s, and I can have a small block with, whatever I have, and it would run 750s, and we can race each other. That's the best part about those classes. And that's,
well, and also it's the skill of the driver too, because a lot of times it comes down to the reaction time to determine who's going to win or who's going to lose.
It's tough. I mean, just look at if you watched the spring fling last week, you had to have a 10-pack or better just to go rounds. It makes me want to just watching that race at home just makes you want to sell your car.
Yeah. Oh, it was nasty. It was so nasty. There were several absolutely perfect packages.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is crazy each time they post this up. But
well, you know Warren Evans that does a lot of the NHRA TV stuff.
Yeah.
So Warren was out there live streaming the event, and he's like taking pictures. Check out this package. Check out this package. Look at these perfect runs.
I'd hate to be the sponsor sponsoring the best losing package, because there was a lot of them.
Oh man, yeah, got to get to the end of the round to actually compare notes. To see, and then if people that are equal, who did it first, et cetera, and stuff like that. So the same thing happens at Bristol at the foot brake race. You know what I mean? They have best package, best winning package, best losing package, and stuff like that. So and that's nasty too. I don't know if you've ever watched. Oh boy, yes. There's others too, but
heroes, man.
Just that man's amazing.
The bottom bulb guys that even on my team now, that Joe Foley, that kid is awesome, winning all these races. Doug Foley, both of these guys. You walk into the shop, the Foley shop, there's like checks everywhere of Joe and Doug of all these big money bracket races they won. And that's the true racers of the sport right there. Those are the guys that can get it done, man. And they. One day if they get an opportunity in a car like I got, watch out, So.
Oh yeah, like Sean Langdon. When Sean,
yep. Good friend of mine. Yep. Oh, yeah. I've been bracket racing with him a couple times, couple 10 granders. He let me drive his car, and we had a lot of fun.
Yep. Whenever they bring in successful racers in other classes, and they have the opportunity to move up, whether it be pro stock motorcycle, whatever, on up. You could, in my opinion, you can tell. You could just tell where the focus is definitely at. Obviously driving, but really the focus is on the tree. And just they're gonna start at the beginning. Try to tear it down and go from there.
And I will say, leaving off a button and leaving off your foot's a totally different thing, and I've had to learn that. So.
Well, it's funny. Robert's been trying to get me to go up there to the World Foot Brake Challenge, and the thing is, I don't know if I want to buy any of that expensive ice cream. So if you lose first round, you go back to buy back in, and it's quite a bit of money. How much is it, Robert?
It's $100.
$100.
$100 buyback, and they give you a bar of ice cream or a cup of ice cream. So that's the running joke, is that's the most expensive ice cream you're going to spend.
Yep.
And they got it stacked up when you go back to the booth. There's a lot of people, and they got it stacked up, and get your ice cream, get you like, oh. So, it is what it is, but the Penningtons are coming on later to talk about it, but that's a really good down-home family feeling race. Just like you said, the competition, you feel it in the air, but everybody, the camaraderie is there also, and that's the really good thing. And like I said, it's everybody is on the same playing field, got the same rules, and they give everybody a fair shot. So that's something I really enjoy. But you got to face the same thing yourself.
Yeah.
And what's so funny, there's what is that car? A little Fiat or something that races out there in that thing? The World Foot Brake Challenge?
Oh, smart car.
Yeah, smart car. Yeah, they race a smart car in it.
Yep. There's a fellow that broke, and that was in his transporter. So he brought it out. He just wheeled it right out, put some astronomical four numbers on it for a dial in, and I think he went 4 rounds or 5 rounds. Okay, and I mean, after like the first time, and the real entertaining thing is he's in the water box in that area where somebody's taken off, and he could be 2 or 3 cars back, and he's back there reacting with the car off the tree from 2 cars in front of him. So you see his car lunge forward about 10 foot, and he stops and backs up, and he does it again. It's no dry hops. He's just watching the tree, getting his spot. And but yes, oh my goodness, that is some of the most entertaining, just watching those races. Dial way up and go down and park it or whatever. And by the second or third round, he was in there on the lights. So it was definitely entertaining for sure. But I tell you, sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic. We're talking about fun things like that. But so you're planning on running Super Street this year, Super Comp, Top Fuel. You're gonna run Bunny's car in the alcohol. I don't know if you're gonna match race, but you're just gonna go to as many events as you can go with that one, correct?
Yeah, I got a match race next weekend with Rocky Perone and Joe Perone. We're quarter mile, 2 runs. Pretty neat deal for cancer, leukemia foundation for kids with cancer, trying to find a way to cure it all. That's why we're there. So it's a special deal.
Okay. Now
That's awesome.
That is awesome. And I tell you, and I was going to say something else. You starting off with the alcohol car. So the clutch, the RPMs, the shifting, and keep it between the walls. Okay. When you let the clutch out the first time, well, first of all, I would think doing a burnout with an alcohol car initially would be one of the more difficult things to do. I could be wrong. But what was the first thing you thought when you let the clutch out on the alcohol car for the first time?
Don't short shift it. But the biggest thing, those things too, they're a wild car. I mean, that's that's so fun to drive. Revving the car up, swapping feet. That's the real thing right there. You got a brake handle, you got a clutch pedal, you got a gas pedal, and you got some buttons. And the burnout, you roll through the water, push both buttons down, you're in high gear, and you rev it up and drop the clutch and do a burnout. And that's a cool feeling. Back up with both buttons down. Just remember to pull them up, roll forward. That's just to be able to rev those things up. We revved up Lindbergh's car so high, where like Bunny's car, you kind of got to preload the clutch a little bit to get it going from pre-stage to stage. And Lindbergh's car, you could just let off the brake handle, and the thrust from the headers would roll you into the beam.
Really?
Even at like the 800 or whatever it was, but it was
right.
And then just getting down there and just hitting your marks on your shifts, keeping it between the mustard and the mayonnaise, and having a good time. I mean,
I've never heard that description, the mustard and the mayonnaise.
Yeah.
I like that. Keep it off the wall, keep it off the center line. I like that. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah. Now tell us, Gary, how can everybody follow you? What is your social media handle, and how can people get a hold of you?
I'm learning this whole side of it. I need to do a better job at it, but my Instagram's Gary Pritchett _TF, and then my Facebook's GP Pritchett, because I've gotten hacked so many times, and there was all these Gary Pritchetts and all this stuff and all these hacking stuff. So anyways, it's GP Pritchett now until I can change it. But that's really what I do, is I try and keep that stuff up to date. I see when I post like racing the funny car and stuff, people really enjoy it, and I'm going to do a better job at it. So keep on the lookout for those 2 accounts.
Well, I actually reached out to one of those other Gary, and I never got a response back, and that was probably the reason why.
Yeah.
It was one of your accounts that got hacked.
It happened to me a couple of years ago, and I've still been recovering. It seems like it's been happening to a lot of people, but
it has.
Be careful who you message back, and with this AI and all that, you never know. So,
that's so
well,
true.
first, one thing that we want to do, you talk a little bit about your sponsors that helps y'all out on the Top Fuel dragster.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm coming on board where a car was sponsored because of Doug Foley's relationship with these people, and we weren't really sure how that was going to go, and it's went very well. And I feel like some of these sponsors, I feel like they're kind of family already, especially United Garage Doors. Joe there, and his dad Jim. They remind me kind of my family. And there's Coble Enterprises. Sherry Coble, she is a sweetheart that loves to be a part of the racing world. She follows the NASCAR world and all that too. And Insinger Performance, they're a big part of us. You know, got to thank them more than anything. And yeah, it's Joe Clark and Jim Clark too. I always mention Jim Clark because he's his dad and he loves being at the racetrack. But no, United Garage Doors, Insinger, Coble, obviously Redline Oil, and a lot of people along the way helped me get to this point. And I've mentioned it before, Hoops. I just got home from work from Hoops. Fire prevention, they're a big part of my life. That's actually my wife and her brother and her dads and moms. That's their company that, they kind of all built together, and I'm just happy and lucky to be a part of it. And that kind of allows us to race and work back at Hoops when we're at home. So.
Oh man, that sounds good. You got a good amount of people that you're working with, and United Doors, United Garage Doors. That's a great company. We enjoy talking to people that are working with. We've interviewed people, and they're working with lawn companies and grass
Yeah.
companies and roofing companies and stuff like that, and that's good to hear because you help promoting not only bigger companies like Redline and other stuff, but more local companies that everybody can relate to. Or everybody not everybody's into racing, but everybody, has a garage, everybody has a yard, everybody has something that is needed, and people like yourself are displaying it and showcasing it.
Well, the one thing about the sport, it has really revolved over the years because, just a little ways back, the number one thing to do was to reach out to companies that was in the automotive market, and that has definitely changed. And I think a lot of that has changed because of the demographics of getting these other companies that are on board that are not associated at all with the car industry.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%. You got a little bit of everything, and I think it's important to have. And just kind of a lot of people, they in your guys' world too. You talk about drag racing, they're like, "Well, what is that? Is that the thing with those parachutes that come out?"
Yeah.
Nice to be able to bring more people out there, and I think it's really cool too when they bring out like athletes or singers and stars and let them get on the starting line and get a reaction out of them. I think that's important for people to see, and it's fun for us to see their reaction.
I was getting ready to say, I know you've been on the starting line and you see people come up, and Mitchell and I have too. They're like, this is the first time we've ever been up there, and I guess nobody really briefed them. You know what I mean? And we're like going, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Especially we see the guy acting macho. Oh, this isn't bad. It's in bad. All of a sudden it takes off.
Yeah.
One, they can't breathe. They can't see. You know what I mean? Then everything that they're typically saying, you can't repeat here on air. But
that's for sure.
Yeah, so, I tell you, like mentioned that at the Gator Nationals, one of our congresswomen, Kat Kamak, she was at the Gator Nationals, and they put her on the starting line. And she's a good friend of mine. I've known her for some years, and it was funny. So me and Robert sitting up there in the tower, and it's like, oh, I got to run down there. I got to go see Kat. And he's like, who? So I take on off, and I run on down there, and I catch it about the time the cars take off. Her and her husband standing in the middle, and so I walk up to her, and she says, "Man, it is just plumb amazing how loud it is, and you just feel it throughout your body."
Yeah.
When the cars take off. She said it's so amazing. But she goes, I got one question to ask. How do y'all deal with the fumes? And I was like, oh, we just get used to it.
I thought you were going to say, how do I get this rubber off my shirt?
No, that comes later. She didn't even notice that yet. She didn't
even notice it.
Yeah.
It's all in your nose and everything. So,
yeah.
But that right there is somebody experiencing racing for the first time, period, is it's always enjoyable, especially when you see the families involved, the kids involved, everybody involved, and you see like you mentioned, the camaraderie, and you really start to experience that, and that's what's needed. So we encourage everybody to go out and support your local track, whatever it might be, circle track, drag racing, whatever. Support your local track. Get involved. You know what I mean? You can get involved with Gary. Gary, what's the best way for people to contact you? Because they're going to want to get involved and get their name on the side of your car.
Get a hold of me or Doug Foley. I mean, really.
There you go.
Social media accounts. My email is gpritchettracing@gmail.com. We would love to have anybody that wants to come on board. We could show them a good time, even if they just want to come out and check it out. We got a nice hospitality area. We do a VIP experience, let you kind of see the whole what it's about, what the atmosphere is about, and see if you want to be a part of it. I mean, that's just, you got to establish a friendship and a relationship before you can get a sponsorship. You know what I mean? I think that's a big part.
Agreed 100%.
100%.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Gary gave you the opportunity or shared with you how you can get a hold of him, how do you get a hold of the car owner, Doug Foley, and y'all could work together. Because like I said, I mean, they're going places. They've already won their first event this year, and they will continue to progress with that and continue with their season and winning. You're going to win.
Yeah, and I tell you, if you're around Virginia Motorsports Park, you want to go head there this weekend. It's going to be a good race, and you might be able to witness Gary win his second Ironman.
We're going to do our best. We're going to take it one round at a time, and you never know. Somebody comes on board, Gary might let them drive the Nova or the Dragster over here. You never know.
No, I'm probably gonna overrule that. It's like going, I don't think you gotta. I don't think they're gonna let them drive the door car. Just because. But maybe you'll let me sit in it. Okay, if you let me sit in it and take a good picture, I'll be happy with that. I got to start somewhere. But I tell you what, Gary, we appreciate you taking the time out of your crazy busy schedule to come on here and talk to us tonight. I know you probably, as soon as you get off, you're going to go right back outside and finish loading up.
Yeah, I got stuff everywhere, but that's part of it. My wife's probably made me dinner. It's probably cold. Oh, well.
yeah, mine too. I got the same thing. But Gary, from Mitchell and I and everybody at OTS and everybody out there, we want to wish you nothing but the best. Safety this year, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on. And if Clark's still listening, tell him I said hello. But appreciate you guys and what you do for us in the sport. It means a lot.
No
problem, we definitely love it, and we love sharing y'all's passion with others, and hopefully that will involve more people coming out to events and being part of it. Maybe they'll like it so much they'll go out and buy a car and start ET bracket racing. That's what it's about.
Yep. Anybody can go to a racetrack with a minivan or whatever they got and then go have some fun.
That's true. Well, Mitchell and Gary, until next time, my friend, we'll let you go so you can go take care of your stuff and eat dinner. But we wish you nothing but safety and good luck this year.
Yes, sir, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Take care, Gary. See ya. Oh, man. It's getting there. You might have to go to your computer.
Yeah, I think I found it.
Okay. It's hard to find on your phone. You got to turn it sideways.
There we go.
There you go. I tell you, that was fun. That was fun talking to Gary, learning a lot about him. And, that's extreme close.
Sorry about that. I had the phone the other way, but when we went to the other screen, I had to turn it around a little bit.
But so we wish Gary and Doug nothing but the best luck this year. So far, they've worked really hard, and it showed. And with his first win, he didn't even talk about the spectacular way he won the final round. I mean, it lit the candles going down there, and then it lit the big candle going through the finish line.
Yeah.
And so he won it with his engine on fire. And to quote him, he goes, "All the lights I saw on the wall I thought was from the finish line wind light. Nope, it was him."
He was glowing.
Yep, he was glowing. And then he got the champagne bath of the fire retardant and putting that out. But nevertheless, they won the event. They earned it. They raced hard every round, and they won it. So that's what it is, and that's what it's about. And I tell you, and he's got a wonderful history, starting off with Bunny Burkett, his family, and keeping that name alive. That is really good to hear, and still keeping it true, keeping with the door car running Super Street and Super Comp, so keeping in the sportsman ranks, and his wife running Top Dragster, and and running a little bit of everything. So that's good. I mean, and with the hands-on experience, I mean, come on, can't get much better.
I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little commercial break, and when we come back, we'll close down the show.
Sounds good.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
With more than 30 years of engine and drivetrain experience, Big Stuff is your one-stop total power management solution. Whether you're controlling a 600 horsepower street car and want the best drivability, or have a 6,000 horsepower race car, need the most bulletproof, reliable control hardware, Big Stuff can do it all. All of our components are designed and manufactured right here in the USA, including our computers, wiring harnesses, touchscreen displays, and more. Nothing is built offshore, and we take pride in being one of the only automotive aftermarket manufacturers that can say this. Learn more at bigstuff3efi.com or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Can't hear you, Mitchell. Your mic's off.
I turned it off because I was getting on the phone, but to just make sure that it wasn't on my end. But man, there were so many questions I wanted to ask, and unfortunately, I had all the stuff written out, but it was on my phone, and I ended up having to use the phone for the live stream. So it kind of really messed me up.
You adapted and overcame, man. That's what it's about.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, his history around the sport of drag racing is just amazing. Like he said, he's been around it ever since he was 18 months old.
Something.
And surrounding himself with such great people, I think has really helped him make his path to where it is. His dream has finally came true. That's his dream ever since he was probably in his teens, was to be able to drive one of those Top Fuel dragsters.
Absolutely. To drive a Top Fuel, he drove a Top Fuel for the Scrappers at Indy, and I think, or no, was it Pomona? A couple years back, and had Bunny and the Boys tribute to Bunny Burkett on the side of it. So I know that was meaningful. Then to be able to drive the alcohol cars for Lindbergh and stuff like that, which came from the Lucas side. So everything was tied together in one way, shape, or form, and it's really good.
You know, the one thing that he talked about was, driving for Randy Meyer, and we know that Randy Meyer has a list of people who have drove for him that have won Wallies.
Yes.
The list is very long. Just goes to show you how good that Randy Meyer's platform is over there.
Yes.
That pretty much, if you're pretty seasonable, and you have the drivability, you can jump in one of those cars and you can win.
Right. Exactly. I mean, Randy just doesn't do it willy nilly. That's for sure, and he has shown that. Uh, but it's it got into a quality car from the get go, and it showed. And Gary made the most of it, and 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 like I said, it was great. I mean, only like first or second season to end up second in points is absolutely amazing in the alcohol ranks. But I mean, I can't imagine the first thing you take down the track, short of a junior, but the first thing you take down the track is an alcohol funny car. I'm like, really? I was like, are you kidding me? And that sounds like Billy Meyer kind of thing. Billy Meyer, I think when he turned 17 or 18 or something like that, first thing he took down the track was a fuel funny car. That's the first thing he ever took down the track, so just jumped in and did it. And I don't know if you can hear Tesla talking to me.
Yeah, I think it's really neat. His whole sportsman racing career as well.
Yes.
It's been really great. No matter what he drives,
Yep.
he does a great job.
Yeah,
And
and
I'm telling you,
showing the tough competition in all the classes.
there's more Iron Man and Wally's coming his way. I can guarantee you that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we encourage everybody to follow them on social media and to go to an IHRA event, go to an NHRA event, go to your local track, and support them. And like I said, and also want to tell everybody out there, thank you for your support for On the Spot Motorsports Media. Thank you for reaching out to Mitchell and I to talk to people and different things like that. And also want to thank the companies that are working with us, including GRE Graphics. They've taken care of our business cards and our handouts and things like that. There you go. They're local and they're racers. But also we work with Big Stuff Fuel Injection. Ben David Dow, again, makes phenomenal product, American made. Okay, and you can also go and tune into an interview that we did at PRI with them direct to show some of the new products. Plus, we are also working with Scorpion Racing Products. Again, they've come on board and they support racers. Okay, and they also support the bracket series at Gainesville Raceway in South Georgia, but they're racers themselves. And then, of course, we have Redline, Team Redline. We've been with Team Redline for a couple years now, and we use them in our vehicles with great success, and we're happy over that. And we have Mark Beatty coming up here pretty soon of Redline, coming up. I think it's next month.
And I'll tell you what, I think everybody knows Mark.
How could you not? How could you not? Man with a good reputation like that, how could you not know him? So we agree, but we thank you to those companies that work with us. We're working with some others coming out here real soon, so we'll announce those here real shortly. But also want to tell everybody thank you for going and subscribing on our YouTube channel. We've able to reach our first threshold. We now have over 1,000 subscribers, thanks to you. Thank you for continuing to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify is gradually coming up. All these interviews that you see here will be on YouTube and Spotify, so you can be able to come in and tune in at any time.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to thank everyone for watching us tonight, and those who will watch us later. Stay tuned to our Facebook page as well as Instagram, where we'll be making announcements of our next guest.
Absolutely. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we wish y'all a good night.